Good evening, everybody. How are you all doing today? Thank you so much for tuning in. Good to see everybody in the chat so far. What's up, Pody and Agent Muskie? Unfortunately, you may have already just left. How's it going, Newans and Zeepdog? Hope you guys are doing well. I'm going to be starting off today's stream with the WoW Economy weekly wrap-up, which has just gone live on wowhead.com. Literally in the last hour or so. So lots and lots of discussions this week to cover on the blog. And I thought we'd give another giveaway a go on the stream this week while we're going through the weekly blog. So if you are tuned in, you can go ahead and type the word goblin in my stream chat to participate in this week's giveaway. And the prize this week is going to be a 30-day game time open to both EU or NA players. So this is going to be active throughout the segment on the Wowhead blog. All you have to do is type the word goblin in the chat. We'll be announcing a winner at the end of the Wowhead segment. So if you are listening on the Wowhead homepage or on the blog post itself, do click through onto the stream and type the word goblin, and we'll get started on the blog this week. So where's my tab here? Here we go. So this is the 34th edition of the WoW Economy Weekly Wrap-Up. Computer's going crazy here. This week we're talking about the recent Battle for Azeroth release dates, which have been confirmed, and the alpha build that went out last week. Lots of interesting information there. Also the news that the remote auction house has been retired, or the announcement of it being retired has been shared by Blizzard. Also talking a little bit about the Noble Garden event, which is active right now on both EU and NA regions.
All hail the greatest prince on Azeroth! Me.
What's up, every last cuppa? Thank you very much for the sub, much appreciated. Just continuing here, we're going to wrap up some of the April Fool's events that went on in the last week in the WoW Economy community. Kind of collected them together to share them with everybody in case you missed them. So yeah, if this is the first time you've been tuned into the stream or not familiar with who I am, my name is Gumdrops. I am the lead moderator for the WoW Economy subreddit and the Discord server. The Discord server itself has just crossed over 22,000 members, so it's a very active and busy community. And I'm also the support manager for Trade Skill Master, the auction house add-on suite, which you'll be seeing in the background of the stream right now while I'm running some post scans. And my objective with the WoW Economy weekly wrap-up on wowhead.com is to kind of cover the goings-on, latest news and info in the community, just to kind of a weekly digest. Stuff you may have missed, stuff you may be interested in checking out for the first time if you're getting into gold making. Just kind of a weekly wrap-up basically. So it's not going to be in a traditional guide, it's not a step-by-step instruction. It's just a collection of articles or guides or blog posts and discussions from the wider community all in one place. So yeah, first section, which is talking about the Battle for Azeroth release date, has been confirmed as August the 14th, as of Thursday I think it was, when this was all announced. So if you guys didn't know already, which I'm sure you do by now, the release date for Battle for Azeroth is going to be August the 14th of this summer. So I think that lines up with 4 months of Legion remaining. Approximately 4 months left to prepare and catch up on things before the launch of the next expansion, which is still a considerable amount of time to get your order halls leveled up on your alts and get your gold making missions on the go there. Thanks everybody for tuning in today. We're just starting off the Saturday stream with my weekly Wowhead wrap-up. There was actually a press and media day held at the Blizzard campus, which is also covered by Wowhead, but there wasn't really anything directly related to gold making covered in any of the interviews that I found so far. I may be missing some information. There is a full page by site director Peculiar wrapping up all of the press event and media day interviews. A lot of content creators and community sites were invited out to Blizzard campus to interview some of the developers, but as I say, there wasn't really anything I found that was super directly related to gold making. Maybe we'll find some more information about professions and economy stuff at a later time. Speaking of the announcement, there is a deal going on, or a special offer right now that Blizzard has announced, where you can pre-purchase Battle for Azeroth and then you get Legion for free, so you don't have to pay for the extra expansion there. Of course, if you do pre-purchase Battle for Azeroth, you get the level 110 character boost, which you can use on any WoW account associated with your Battle.net account. So if you have multiple accounts, you can boost up your one of your characters on one of your accounts and get started with some gold making there. Following on the same train of thought, the alpha build this week had some interesting information for professions. A couple of different enchants adjustments, nothing super exciting there. Herbalism has some typos and grammatical things changed, but tailoring has been kind of the main section that would be interested in checking out. All of the regions or the materials required for these crafts has been confirmed now. All of the different crafts for tailoring have had their materials updated, and the most interesting ones of course are the new tailoring bags. So there's a new 30 slot bag in Battle for Azeroth, and there is a new 32 slot bag, which is the biggest bag we've had outside of the unique bag from the Mad Trader. What's he called again? I can't quite remember. Mad Merchant, that's what he's called. But yeah, interestingly enough, the 30 slot bag does not require any bind on pickup items. It's got sun and bleached linen, deep sea satin and nylon thread, which I guess is a vendor material. But then the 32 slot bag does require the new version of Blood of Sargeras, which is called Expulsum in Battle for Azeroth. And it requires up to 10 Expulsum, depending on the rank of your recipe. So we'll go down and check out my comments underneath this section here. Yeah, the new 30 slot bag, which is the same size as Hexweave, does not require any bind on pickup materials, like the current biggest bag, Hexweave, does, and the embroidered deep sea bag 32 slot does require Expulsum, depending on the rank of the recipe, requires up to 10. So that kind of indicates my initial inclination regarding how you're going to be able to acquire the Expulsum in a lot more ways than Blood of Sargeras. Going to have to be able to acquire a lot more than you would be able to with Bloods, and I think the scrapper that we've been discussing over the past couple of weeks would be a great way of doing that. So if anybody is in the Hexweave bag market, there's been lots of discussion on whether or what is going to happen to Hexweave in terms of the bags, but I personally don't think it's going to make the Hexweave bags instantly irrelevant. There's still going to be a market for them. People aren't going to necessarily want to have the biggest bags available, especially if they cost a lot of gold, because the acquisition costs of the new materials are going to be quite high in the opening weeks of the expansion. So Hexweave bags are still going to be desirable and sellable in the opening weeks and months of the expansion, especially considering whenever new bigger bags were introduced, you could still sell the old bags, and even to this day you can still sell the likes of Ember Silk and Netherweave bags in the game, just not necessarily as much as they used to be. It just depends on what people are interested in. So yeah, discussion point for this segment of the Wowhead blog is just asking if you guys have pre-purchased Battle for Azeroth yet, and if you have you requested time off work for the launch now that it has been confirmed? And if you are currently in the Hexweave bag market, what are your plans for Battle for Azeroth? Are you going to continue doing it, or are you going to transition yourself to the new bags once you've got the recipes? What's going to be your strategy there? So yeah, that finishes the first segment of the Wowhead blog. So I'm going to take this opportunity to remind you guys there is a giveaway active right now. All you have to do to participate is come into my stream, type the word goblin in the stream chat, and that will enter you in for a chance to win 30 days of game time, open to both EU and NA players. And you must be following the stream in order to win once we roll for the winner coming up here at the end of the Wowhead section. So next biggest announcement was the remote auction house going to be retired on April 18th, so there's less than 2 weeks now before the remote auction house is going to be removed from the mobile armory and the web-based armory. So you're no longer going to be able to purchase or sell things on the go without logging into the game directly. So as the Blizzard announcement said, on that date you'll no longer be able to view auction house listings or make auction house transactions through the official WoW website or the WoW Armory app, and all links will be removed from our website. It's very worth noting, or very important to note, that this will not impact community sites like Tradeskill Master or the Undermine Journal. Both of these services reference and access a separate API to get pricing data, so the removal of the remote auction house is not going to have any impact on receiving pricing updates in-game for Tradeskill Master and Undermine Journal. So that's very important to note. It's not going to impact anything there. Of course, the wider WoW community has had a lot to say on this matter, not just the Goblins and Goldmakers. There's been lots of chat on the Wowhead post that announced the news. There's been nearly 100 comments, lots of people sharing what they did with the mobile application. The main WoW subreddit had a big discussion regarding the removal of the remote auction house, lots of people being upset about it. And also the announcement post itself on the Blizzard site, lots of comments regarding the removal of the remote auction house, if the loading comments are going to go, because I like the first one, or at least the most voted one. Don't think it's going to load anything. But yeah, kind of implying that most of their gold making was done while sitting on the big white throne in the bathroom, which is of course a place of great thinking and great deal making sometimes, but no longer, unfortunately, with the removal of the remote auction house. But yeah, it is clear that a lot of people will miss the remote auction house, whether that's to quickly check what has been selling on your characters or picking up some deals while you're on the go. Maybe you've got some notifications set up with Undermine Journal and Tradeskill Master, and unfortunately that's not going to be possible anymore. Even to the point where some people actually shared that they were exclusively using the mobile armory app to handle all of their items on the auction house, because maybe they only had half a dozen items listed and they were quite happy using the mobile application to handle all of that. So the Marathal, who shared a blog post just discussing some speculation on why this has happened and what's going to be the future of the mobile apps. Their indication, or their inclination, is that it's kind of moving towards more of a corporate reporting situation. So taking some insights from King, which is another Activision Blizzard subsidiary, regarding they run Candy Crush, one of the biggest mobile applications in the world, and trying to replicate daily active users or monthly active users, and potentially moving all of the Blizzard and World of Warcraft applications into one app, and introducing some more mini games or gamifying the application for Battle for Azeroth. So that could be a potential situation. The developers have said that they wanted to merge everything together, but I personally don't think that anything is going to come back in the form of the remote auction house. Just the phrasing of the announcement, it seems like it's just a complete service or feature shutdown, because there's no mention of the future or any indication that this is going to be just a temporary thing while something else is investigated. And there's no reference to the all-in-one application that Marathal is alluding to in the initial announcement from Blizzard directly. So to me this just seems like they're cutting it out of the app, they're getting rid of it once and for all, and they don't have any plans to resurrect it or bring it back at a future date. So while I could see what the Marathal is suggesting regarding an all-in-one application with some more mini-games in it regarding Battle for Azeroth, I don't really see the remote auction house coming back, considering all of the past issues that it's actually had as well. So personally I've experienced connectivity issues, items being displayed incorrectly, and not even being able to purchase or sell things because the transaction limit has been incorrectly tracked. And also there was rumours, I don't know if it's confirmed, but one of the reasons that was rumoured that the API was out in February, i.e. offline, was the fact that suspended WoW accounts could access the remote auction house despite being a banned account. So while that was all tied together with the auction house API and the mobile application, etc., they had to take everything offline in order to fix that, apparently. Again, that hasn't been confirmed. But if they've been able to separate it all out and they've finally decided just to get rid of it because it's a little bit more hassle than it's worth, there's much more likely that it's not going to have any outages regarding the pricing API that the Undermined Journal and Tradescore Master uses. So that's, of course, a silver lining. Obviously, a lot of people are upset at the fact that the remote auction house is disappearing, but at the same time, if the API doesn't go down again, then that's going to be a good thing for sure. So having said that, I do believe that this change will create a non-insignificant impact on the game economy, especially when a lot of the casual players who aren't necessarily playing the game to make gold utilize the app to post their items, not necessarily at the wrong price, but certainly in their own way. It kind of benefits the other gold makers, and perhaps it'll be a very slight slowdown of the in-game economy, where it doesn't take as long for markets to complete pricing cycles, because items are available for longer, as people can't post or purchase from the remote auction house. But time will tell, of course. We'll have to see how it pans out and what kind of impact it will have on certain markets in the game. So, asking questions at the end of this section is, how did you utilize the remote auction house if you did, and what will you do once it is retired on April 18th? I know a few people are investigating setting up TeamViewer or remote desktop connections and leaving their computers running while they're away to be able to remotely log in to do their auction house stuff. But I'd be curious how you guys have been using the app, if you have been, and what are your plans once it's retired, as a comment on the blog. So just another quick reminder that there is a giveaway active right now for 30 days of WoW game time, open to both EU and NA players. All you have to do is type the word goblin in my stream chat. If you are listening on the Wowhead homepage or on the blog post itself, do feel free to click through into the stream and get involved in the giveaway. The winner is going to be announced once we finish talking to the Wowhead blog. Let me just update my giveaway command. It's accurate. There we go. How's it going, Narganth? Thanks for tuning in. So, of course, you guys know the Noble Garden event is active this week. I'm sure you've all been already making the most of it if you've been out farming, getting up to date with your achievements and pets and stuff like that. There is a full guide on Wowhead regarding the event this year. But there is a video from Sharkin808 who has just recently celebrated becoming a partner here on Twitch, which is really awesome. He's put together a video just discussing primary way of making gold during the event, which is of course the mounts, the Swift Spring Striders. So you'll be collecting the eggs, turning in the currency or the mounts, and then selling them on the auction house. However, it is recommended that you don't sell them straight away. You're going to be holding on to the items, maybe stocking up on them for selling at a later date. As the supply drops for the mounts on the conclusion of the event, prices will generally start to rise. People returning to the game in the lead up to the next expansion, maybe purchasing some mounts and pets for themselves, they will likely pay a bit more to get it right now instead of waiting for the event later next year. So I've gone ahead and taken a screenshot of the pricing data, which is kind of a textbook situation and example of supply and demand. You can see at the beginning of the Noble Garden event last year, there was a very, very dramatic increase in available quantity. This is for the European region across all servers. And a very, very dramatic drop in price because there were so many mounts available and not as many purchasing or not as many people buying, so the demand remained the same but the supply dramatically increased. And as you can see, after the event, all throughout the year, the supply and availability of the mounts continue to decline, and then the price of the mounts continue to rise up until the very much the same point at the beginning of the chart, the start of the Noble Garden event this year, where the price of the mount hit 100,000 gold and then made a dramatic drop once again at the start of the event as the supply dramatically increased. So people generally hold on to these holiday event items and try to sell them as far away from the event as possible, but obviously if you're going to be able to make a profit, you can do so at any point. Just kind of got to time it right and be listing things at the right time. But yeah, as I say, it's a textbook supply and demand situation where the demand increases, rather the supply increases but the demand does not, so the price drops. And the low point here was 15,000 gold at the Noble Garden 2017, and the high point before the event this year was 100,000 gold as the supply of the mounts started to dwindle, and then the start of the event starts again. Of course, if you're not into farming, you can simply buy some of the mounts off the auction house and invest some gold without going out to collect some eggs, and resell them in the future for a profit without having to spend any time clicking on some eggs. So discussion point for this section, have you been farming the eggs yourself? Did you skip the farming this year and just invest in the mounts off the auction house if you've got a bit of capital or gold behind you? And when do you usually find is the best time to sell holiday event items? Do you try and sell it very, very quickly after the event? Do you sell things during the event? Do you wait the longest possible time, kind of the opposite time of year from the event, to make the most out of it? Be curious what your guys' strategies are for your holiday event items. Personally, it's not something that I get involved in. I always consider these markets as kind of bandwagon markets, because people do watch videos like this and think, oh well, I'm going to get involved in this market, even though they've never done any gold making stuff before. And if there's too many people getting involved that don't really understand the basics of in-game economies or gold making, it's not really worth my time personally to try and compete against that. So these are the kind of markets I personally avoid. Jack going to be selling them first month of BFA. That sounds like a plan. Yes, it is a 30-day game time giveaway, Scorshane and Kaifin. It is open to both EU and NA players, and all you have to do to participate is click into the stream chat and type the word goblin, and we'll be announcing a winner after we get through the last section of the Wowhead blog. So if you are listening on the Wowhead homepage or on the blog post itself, do feel free to click through and get involved. You do need to be following the stream in order to win, so if you haven't already, that would be much appreciated. Let's just check this giveaway is tracking. Oh, it's not, unfortunately. Let me refresh that. Might have to get all you guys to enter one more time. This chat isn't loading for some reason. Let me try and fix this. Why isn't that working? This worked last week, but it's not this week. Why isn't this working? I need to refresh apparently. I'll give you guys a chance to enter once again, but for some reason it doesn't seem to want to load like it did last week. Might have to figure something else out. Jack broke it, yeah, something like that.
You break it, you buy it.
course it decides to break this week. Let me hide this off the screen for just for now. Now we can put it back on once it's fixed. You break it, you buy it, yeah, you've got to buy it now. It's just continually loading for the giveaway thing. I'd really like to get this fixed so I can actually do the giveaway this week. Let's try and do it this way around. Let's do it on... Oh, I can't do it on Fireworks, can I? Well, this isn't working as planned. I do apologise, guys. This worked 100% fine last week, but I'm not sure why it's not happening. It doesn't seem to want to behave this week. Let's do it from here. Yeah, that's not right. This isn't my chat room. Why is that not working? Well, this is most unfortunate. We might have to postpone the giveaway until next week, because I'm not 100% sure why this isn't loading correctly. I tried turning it off and on again. Yeah, I've tried closing all the giveaway stuff and then reopening it. Go ahead and try one more time, just in case it decides to work this time. It's not like I can just add my name to the giveaway tab thing. Yeah, I think we'll one more time. Yeah, well, I think unfortunately we'll have to postpone the giveaway until next time. This does not want to work this week unless I can quickly find some other giveaway. Let's try this one quickly. See if this makes a difference. Or how do I even open this one? Okay, let's refresh. I'm using Twitch Giveaways Organic, but I've just installed another one called Giveaways Twitch. I'll give that one a try if it loads up. I would really like to get this working, but it doesn't seem to be operating correctly. I don't even have a button for this one now. Okay, remove that. Let's refresh again. Yeah, the giveaway is not active, Kaifin. I'm just going to try one more time to fix it, and if it doesn't work this time, we're just going to postpone it. Try again next week. Yeah, it's not loading my stream chat, so it's not going to be able to check who's actually entering. Yeah, as I say, unfortunately we'll have to postpone the giveaway until next time. Maybe we'll do something on Twitter just to make up for it. But yeah, I'll let people know after the stream today what's going on there. I don't want to reboot my PC because that wouldn't be good timing. Anyway, let's finish up the Wowhead blog here. I did collect together some of the April Fool's announcements that were shared in the WoW economy community, including the shout out from the official Blizzard April Fool's patch notes, which goes out every year. The main one was the Auction House Dance Party, that is the annual mini holiday. Has moved to just outside of the auction house, and I read this and I thought, well, that'll be good because I can just continue using the auction house when everything's going on outside. But then the next section said all the auctioneers have relocated to just outside of the auction house so they can also participate in the auction house dance party, which I thought, okay, fair enough, that'll be funny. And then finally the section finished off with, due to concerns for the well-being of the auctioneers, who are now standing outside and exposed to the elements, all the auction house structures have been shifted over to provide them with cover. So I thought this was pretty damn hilarious. We've just shifted all the auction houses slightly to the right or to the left to cover for the auction house dance party. So I thought I'd cover this bit in the blog, which is a nice little shout out. And a few people fell for this one from Student Albatross as well. He put together a video discussing a brand new 10 million gold mount with a mailbox attached to it. This is the rendition he put on the right hand side here, the spider with the laser eyes and the mailbox on the back of it, which, to be fair, I would actually pay quite a lot of gold for. Even more so if it had an auctioneer or a bank accessible on the back of it, not just a mailbox. But yeah, a few people fell for this one and shared the screenshot and the video of the new 10 million gold mount with the new gold sink. And then finally, the Gold Queen announced a new gold score system similar to the Raider IO or the WoW Progress ranking systems for Mythic Plus and associated achievements and stuff like that. So she took some screenshots from the alpha and indicated that they were some kind of gold lounge that you get access to once you reach a certain gold score, and shared some screenshots there, along with a fake looking achievement you get when you reach max gold cap on a player for 10 million gold, which I think would be cool in and of itself. Not necessarily just a fun thing to make fun of, but some kind of gold or economy related achievements I think would be an interesting addition to the game. Maybe we'll suggest that in Q&As and stuff like that. But yeah, that kind of wraps up the weekly Wowhead blog. That was just a nice little fun finish to the blog post this week, all the April Fools from last weekend. If you guys want to check it out, I'm going to update my Wowhead command as well. You can type !Wowhead in the chat to get a link to the most recent one. Leave a comment if you like, let us know what your thoughts are for the blog. Thank you very much for the host, Shin. Very much appreciated. Let me try one more time for this giveaway. That would be only good spider as a squish one. That's not good. No, this is still not my stream chat.
What shall I do? Go. Our work is completed.
That's not good. Oh well, that was worth a shot. Hopefully by next week we can have something active for the giveaway situation. We'll do something for next week.
I wish you were here.
maybe try and find some other kind of service if this one fails again, to make sure we can do the giveaway, and maybe we'll tinker with it throughout the rest of the stream. But yeah, thank you guys for joining me on the first segment of my stream, just covering the Wowhead blog. If you have been watching on the Wowhead homepage, do feel free to click through onto the Twitch channel and join me for the rest of the evening. I'll be answering any gold making questions or anything about the blog post, going through my auction house activities here. But I'm going to go ahead and remove the embed from the Wowhead homepage.